China's mountain life isn't what you've been told. It's more breathtaking, challenging, and misunderstood than you ever imagined. When most people picture Chinese mountain villages, they envision simple, primitive communities living in isolation, cut off from the modern world. But here's what they don't understand. These communities represent some of the most sophisticated agricultural systems on Earth, developed over millennia by people whose connection to the land runs deeper than most of us can fathom. The truth is, China's mountain peoples have created engineering marvels that put modern technology to shame. Take the rice terraces of southern China. These aren't just pretty landscapes for Instagram photos. They're gravity-fed irrigation systems that have operated continuously for over 2,300 years, some covering thousands of hectares with precision that would challenge today's engineers. But wait, there's something even more remarkable about these ancient systems. The Chongyi Shangbao terraces alone currently achieve grain yields exceeding 7,500 kilograms per hectare. That's higher than many modern mechanized farms. These terraces don't just grow rice, they create entire ecosystems where fish, frogs, ducks, and countless other species thrive in harmony with human agriculture. The Han people of Yunnan have perfected what ethnographer Jim Goodman calls a year-round larder. Their terraces provide not just rice, but timber, vegetables, fruits, fish, and even traditional medicines, all from the same integrated system. This isn't primitive farming, it's agricultural sophistication that modern science is only beginning to understand. Here's where the story gets even more fascinating. China's mountains are home to 55 officially recognized ethnic minorities, each with distinct cultures, languages, and survival strategies. The Miao people, numbering 7.7 million, have developed unique adaptations to mountain life, including the famous horn headdresses of the Chengjiao Miao, but even these are misunderstood. Our costumes are colorful because the mountains are always covered in thick mist. Colorful dresses allow us to better spot each other, explains Yang, a Miao villager. What tourists see as exotic decoration is actually practical survival gear, developed over generations of mountain living. The Yi people, 7 million strong, have their own written language and Bimo religion, while the Naxi of Lijiang use a unique pictographic script that predates most writing systems. These aren't relics of the past, they're living cultures adapting to modernity while maintaining their mountain heritage. But perhaps nothing illustrates the resilience of mountain communities like the story of China's cliff villages. In Sichuan province, the village of Atelier became world famous as the Cliff Village, home to 72 families living on a precipice 1,400 meters above sea level. To reach the outside world, villagers had to climb 800 meters of cliff face using 218 steel ladders, crossing 13 separate sections of the most dangerous terrain imaginable. This isn't poverty or backwardness. It's adaptation to a landscape so extreme that conventional development was impossible. The village's isolation actually preserved natural resources better than accessible areas, creating a unique ecosystem that thrived precisely because it was undeveloped. And here's the twist that changes everything about how we view these communities. In 2017, the local government invested nearly 600 million yuan to build a 2,556-step steel ladder system, making the village accessible while preserving its unique character. Rather than forcing relocation, they found ways to honor both safety and tradition. Mountain farming in China represents something revolutionary that most people completely miss. These aren't subsistence farmers barely scraping by. They're agrobiodiversity specialists managing complex polyculture systems that could hold keys to global food security. In Wangjinzhuang village, farmers practice intercropping systems that span elevations from valley floors to mountain peaks, creating microclimates that support dozens of different crops. When climate disasters strike one elevation, crops at other levels survive, ensuring food security through diversity rather than monoculture. Here's what makes this even more remarkable. The Qiang people have built stone terraces on both sunny and shady mountainsides at high and low elevations, creating agricultural landscapes so diverse that weather disasters affecting one area leave others untouched. This isn't luck, it's thousands of years of accumulated wisdom about risk management and sustainable agriculture. But the most misunderstood aspect of Chinese mountain life might be its spiritual dimension. Mount Taishan, one of China's 5 sacred mountains, has been the site of imperial ceremonies for nearly 2,000 years, with 1,800 stone inscriptions and 22 temples, creating what UNESCO calls the most important monument in China. This isn't just tourism, it's a living spiritual tradition where mountains themselves are seen as divine beings. The practice extends to village level, where local mountain spirits are honored through festivals and ceremonies that maintain community bonds while protecting the environment. These aren't primitive superstitions, they're sophisticated systems of environmental stewardship disguised as religious practice. Now here's where the story takes an unexpected turn toward the future. Climate change is threatening mountain communities worldwide, but Chinese mountain farmers are responding with strategies their ancestors would recognize. They're increasing crop diversity, selecting seeds adapted to changing conditions, and using traditional intercropping methods to build resilience. The Naxi people still plant corn, beans, sweet potatoes, and pumpkins together, ensuring that if one crop fails, others survive. It's ancient wisdom that modern climate scientists are now recommending as an adaptation strategy for the 21st century. And the innovations keep coming. In Gansu province, Tibetan nomads are combining traditional lifestyles with solar technology, using portable solar panels to power their nomadic herding while maintaining their cultural practices. They're proving that tradition and technology don't have to be enemies. They can be partners in sustainable development. But here's the uncomfortable truth about discovering these mountain communities. Tourism is both preserving and destroying traditional mountain cultures simultaneously. Villages like Basha in Guizhou have become famous as the last gun-toting tribe in the world. But what tourists see are performances created for their benefit, not authentic traditions. The real Basha men don't regularly carry guns. Local police only allow them for tourist performances. The traditional haircutting ceremony using scythes is also performed with modern tools designed for tourist photography, not the small knives actually used in traditional ceremonies. This raises profound questions about authenticity, cultural preservation, and the price of economic development through tourism. The numbers tell a story that most travel videos never mention. Ethnic minority villages in China show dramatic economic disparities. Manchu villages have incomes 42% higher than average ethnic villages, while Uyghur villages lag 32% behind. Southwestern villages with Yi, Miao, and Zhuang populations face income gaps of 50% compared to national averages. Distance and location are crucial factors. Remote mountain villages often struggle economically precisely because of their isolation. Many young people migrate to urban areas for work, sending money back to support families, but leaving behind aging populations and sometimes abandoned traditions. Yet something remarkable is happening that gives hope for the future. The Chinese government has designated thousands of traditional villages for protection, including 44 municipal traditional villages in Beijing alone, with 22 also recognized as national traditional villages. These aren't museum pieces. They're living communities where traditional architecture, customs, and ways of life are actively preserved. The Chongyi Shangbao terraces now supply 76.5% of local food crops while generating 1.357 billion yuan in economic revenue, proving that traditional agriculture can be both culturally authentic and economically viable. Here's what most people get wrong about Chinese mountain life. It's not about poverty, isolation, or being left behind by modernity. It's about communities that have developed sophisticated strategies for living in harmony with some of Earth's most challenging environments. These aren't backward places that need to catch up with the modern world. They're laboratories of sustainability that the modern world needs to learn from. The Kuchong people, who once lived in what outsiders called primitive conditions in Yunnan's mountains, have now moved to modern communities while maintaining their cultural identity. Their story shows that development doesn't require abandoning tradition. It requires finding ways to honor both. And here's the final revelation that changes everything. Foreign residents increasingly choose Chinese mountain villages over major cities, drawn by authenticity, community connections, and sustainable lifestyles. Swedish expatriate Patrick Backstader moved to Dali not for economic opportunities, but for the clear air, mountains, and strong sense of community that offered deeper meaning than urban life. The mountain life that most people get wrong isn't a relic of the past struggling to survive in the present. It's a vision of the future where technology serves tradition, where development enhances rather than destroys cultural heritage, and where the wisdom of thousands of years provides solutions for challenges we're only beginning to understand. These communities aren't disappearing. They're evolving, adapting, and teaching us new ways to live sustainably on a planet under pressure. The real question isn't whether mountain life in China will survive, but whether the rest of us are wise enough to learn from what they've already figured out. The mountains have always been teachers for those willing to listen. It's time we started paying attention. In a world racing toward uniformity, the mountain communities of China stand as guardians of diversity, cultural, ecological, and spiritual. Their stories are not just about survival, but about thriving in balance with nature, preserving identity in the face of modern pressures, and embracing innovation without sacrificing heritage. As the planet grapples with climate crises, food insecurity, and cultural erosion, the answers may already exist in the quiet rhythms of mountain life. These highland custodians aren't just preserving the past, they're offering blueprints for a better, more sustainable future. All we have to do now is listen and learn. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more such content.